This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 302 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to dive deep into 5 out-of-the-box ways to work with brands. Now, before we do that, I want to make sure that if you haven't already signed up for my free 5-day challenge training that I'm doing called Pitch Perfect Live 2022, I want to make sure that you do so. We start August 29th, which is the day that this recording is coming out. So if you haven't already signed up, go do it right now so that you can make sure that you hop on the Zoom link to be able to get the training and ask any questions that you have. Now, if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I used to do a Pitch Perfect Live training back in 2020, 2019, 2018. I have not done this training in 2 years, and I have revamped the entire thing to make it appropriate for 2022 and what we are seeing as influencers and bloggers now. So if you participated in the past, I would highly recommend participating again. We're going to be doing it entirely different by all being able to hop on a Zoom call so that I can see your beautiful faces and you can ask me any questions that you want live. I have never done it this way before, and I am so excited because it's more of that classroom feeling that I really always find is that much better to be able to deliver lessons and for students to be able to learn and ask questions. So make sure that you have signed up for that. You can send me a DM at Jenny_Melrose on Instagram, and I will send you the link to be able to sign up for that. Now, what I want to be able to talk about today are the 5 out-of-the-box ways. And the reason that it is important that you not only sign up for that training is because we need to be able to know how to pitch ourselves to be able to give these 5 out-of-the-box ideas. So the very first thing that is important to make sure that you do, and the first thing that I want you to think about is that it is important that you create a package price with your deliverables. One of the biggest mistakes that I see clients make is that they will try to tell a brand what they charge for an Instagram reel, what they charge for an Instagram post, what they charge for TikTok, an email blast, a blog post. They give them so many options. And as we know, when you give people too many options, they get overwhelmed and they can't decide what to do. And therefore, it takes that much longer to put together a deal. When you actually give them, this is the package that I put together for you because it is what I am best at and how you are going to get the most out of my audience. It makes a huge difference for them because now they're able to negotiate. So put together a package price where you tell them the deliverables that you are going to give them. You want to make sure that with these deliverables, you are making sure that you show them where your audience is, where you get the most engagement. So if you're doing really great on Instagram Reels, or if your idea pins are seeing a ton of impressions, then you want to make sure that you emphasize that and articulate that to them so that when they see this package price and they see the deliverables, they understand that this is where you are going to shine for them. Okay, so you heard me mention an idea pin. That is actually one of the ways that I want you to start thinking about of being an out-of-box idea. If you have been on Pinterest for any amount of time, longer than a year, you understand that Pinterest used to work differently, right? We used to use Pinterest as bloggers in order to drive traffic to our sites. You still can do that, but you can't do it the way that you used to be able to. And Pinterest is changing and pushing more idea pins, which of course isn't about driving traffic to your site. It's more about building your brand like Instagram and TikTok are. So because of that, This is more beneficial for a brand. So all of you that have tons of followers on Instagram that weren't necessarily seeing the same traffic that you used to see in page views, now you're seeing impressions, which you've probably heard me say in the past, impressions don't matter. Now they do. Because now those impressions are what is getting in front of an audience. So if you do an idea pin that is a sponsored idea pin that puts in front of your audience that brand with those impressions, it's not about the clicks anymore. It's about getting in front of the audience. That's the whole purpose of doing sponsorships. So that is a huge out of the box idea in order to show to a brand. Now, here's the thing that I need you to understand. With number 1 and number 2 that we already talked about, it's important that you are able to articulate the return on their investment. You have to be able to tell them, hey, an idea pin from me is going to give you 5 million impressions or 500,000 impressions or 100,000 impressions, whatever that is. For you, look at your stats or the average over 30 days and be able to tell them what that is going to give them. Now, when we say impressions, we know that impressions means that it's getting in front of your audience, that it's getting out there, it's going past them in the feed. They're able to see the brand just like they are on Instagram or TikTok. So make sure that you can articulate that to the brand so they see the benefit of working and putting an idea pin into their campaign. The third thing that I want you to think about when you're doing these out of the box ideas is that it's important when you put together your package price and the deliverables that you are going to give them, that you think about how can you repurpose for multiple shout outs. So let's say, for example, you put together an Instagram reel and the video that you record for it is multiple shots different ways, right? We're always pulling different pieces together. Well, from the raw footage that you have, could you technically create a second reel? And it's all from the same footage that you've already shot. You're just pulling it together in a different way. This way, instead of delivering one reel, now you're delivering 2. Or could you deliver a reel and then deliver two posts to your Instagram feed? Because from that reel, you're able to take a screenshot or you're able to get a stop shot of that video to be able to put to your feed as a post. How can you reuse the content that you were already creating, the raw footage that you are already shooting for them? How could we take an Instagram reel and make it work for an idea pin? Or how could we take that idea pin and make it work for Google Web Stories so that we're getting traffic that way? It's all about thinking about how you do not have to reinvent the wheel. We are marketers. We need to be thinking about this and not feeling like everything that we give them has to be brand new, has to be just a shoot, so that if you're doing 3 Instagram posts to your feed for a brand, it has to be 3 totally separate shoots. That's not the case. You can take photos from that same shoot that you're going to maybe use in a slide deck to be able to put into your web story. What is it going to look like? How can you possibly do that? Okay. The other 4th way to be an out of the box idea is to emphasize being able to write an email blast to your list solely about that product. Now, many of you have listened to my series that I did over the summer where we talked about promotional emails, how to make sure that you are engaging your audience. We've been talking about this for a while because I emphasize the point that your email list is really important. It can drive traffic to your site. It also can be able to sell your products and services that you offer. Well, it can also get eyes on brands, products, and services that they offer. So you need to know, what is your open rate? What is your click-through rate on your emails? Ideally, you're looking for an open rate above 40%, and you're looking for a click rate between 2 to 8, even a little bit higher if you can get it there, but you have to be consistently emailing your list in order to get that. So if you haven't already listened to that series that I did over the summer about emails, go back and listen to that and improve on your email list. But brands are looking for you to offer your email as portion of your campaign that you are going to run for them. They understand the importance of a list now in 2022 more than ever before. So if that's not something that you have ordinarily recommended or used as part of your deliverables, look at your list, think about how you could potentially use it. The last and fifth one that I want to give you is to start thinking about how you can connect within the social apps that you are using in order to make the campaign more robust. So in other words, and a great example would be do an Instagram reel and then have connected stories throughout the week that are going to continue to promote that reel, that are going to bring it in front of them, asking questions, getting them to do things that we've talked about with polls. And that way you can have conversations in your DMs, which shows the brand that you do have that engagement. So I really want you to start thinking about how can I deliver a full campaign for them so that I can make sure I'm going to get as many eyes on their product as possible. Because remember, when you're doing sponsorships are about building brand awareness. So if you're going to build brand awareness, you have to be able to come up with a campaign that does that. And when you do this, you put together deliverables that are within that package price that are going to be able to get more eyes, build brand awareness on that product or service that the brand offers. You guys, one of the most important things about this is that as you are starting to work with brands, or if you have already been doing this, you have to be able to find relationships and know which brands to work with. If that is something that you have struggled with, or you have gone through networks in the past and you just want to be able to have a direct relationship with a brand, then I'm telling you, you have to join my Pitch Perfect Live 2022 training. That training is going to give you the tools in order to get in front of those brands now. Because when it comes to Q4, traditionally brands have marketing money that they have not used all up yet because they're waiting to see what the year looks like. We know we've had a couple crazy years since the pandemic, so they may have money left over in order to spend it on influencer marketing. And because of that, this is when you need to pitch them, to get in front of them, to let them know and see how you can stand out because you have built a relationship with your audience, which is who they want to get in front of. All right, you guys, make sure that if you haven't already grabbed that link, send me a DM on Instagram and I will make sure to get you signed up for that. I'll send a link right over to you so that you can make sure that you have your seat and can hop on Zoom with me. Otherwise, I cannot wait to see you all next time.